everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we'll be discussing how we can attach an EBS volume to running Linux EC2 machine. So that first we should be having one running EC2 machine, and then we'll be creating EBS volume in AWS console, and later we'll attach that EBS volume to that running instance in AWS console, and finally we log into our Linux VM, and then we'll see how we can mount that particular created EBS volume in the Linux server. Okay, let me just create EC2 server with Linux operating system. So Linux server that I'm giving name. I'll just create 15th API or something. So 22 would be sufficient. Same. Quickly, I'll launch my Linux EC2 machine. So view all instances. So here I'll be logging in this particular virtual machine using mobile extra. EC2-user is a default user. Okay, now I'm successfully logged into my created Linux virtual machine. Here I can check what are the available mount points in the server. So tf-h. Okay, here if you see the 8 GB which is by default created /dev /xvda1 is 8 GB by default which is selected, and remaining all files like a system reserved files. Okay, so now here the 8 GB which we created by default when we are creating the EC2 machine, so that 8 GB which is created is under this path. So this is the file system name it is created, and now let us create another 20 GB of storage using the EBS volume, and let's see how we can mount that particular volume into this particular EC2 server. And also let's see uh, lsblk command. So what all it will display. So in xvda, particular in xvda, so totally how much we have space here means, so the total space is 8 GB. Under xvda1, that 8 GB is there. So this two would be like a system reserved file. So how we have same similarly in the Windows machines, how we'll be having system reserved space, the similarly in like a Linux platform also the system reserved files will be there. Okay, so to do that, first we should create one EBS volume in AWS console. So for that, go to Elastic Block Store section, just create a volume which is of 20 GB of capacity. And so just check where is our server is located. EC2 server, go to instances, EC2 instances. So check the availability zone. So Linux server, so AP-South-1A. So in Mumbai DC it is in A zone, so select in the same A zone. That's it. Create volume. So now volume is created. So I'll just rename this as a new volume. So the now volume became available, which means this is ready to use, but still this is not in use. This is ready to use. So we can attach this particular volume to the running EC2 server. So attach volume, select the server here, the Linux server, and you just cross verify both the things, the instance ID and the server name. So choose it, and here you can change this particular thing. Okay, we can rename like this also. Dev xvdf, or you can keep like this also. Whatever it is up to you. Okay, but whenever we are keeping this name, you have to note this particular name, and we have to modify when you are entering in the commands. Okay, attach volume. So I'll just note down that particular. So these are all the commands that which we'll be using in today's session to mount this particular volume in Linux server. So this is the So this is the file system name that we created in EBS volume. So we have to rename this particular volume here wherever that we are. So here, instead of this is the default one which will be created. So instead of this one, I'll just rename everywhere so that this particular file system can be created in our Linux server. So here, so let me explain about this particular commands. So here this will let you know like what are the drives, or what are the, like if you see in the here, what are the like mount points are available in your particular server. And the second command which makes, so this will create a file system in your Linux server for this particular file system which we are created in EBS. Later we'll create a directory, so that will, so whenever, so you will be creating directory to connect with your volume which you are creating in AWS. Okay, so finally to this particular directory we will mount this particular mount point. So here instead of data I can give my name as well. So Prakash, so even here I can give my name. So we did everything. So now just execute the first command and you will be seeing. Okay, I think it is not copied. Okay, see now there are, so this xvdf and one more xvdf of 20 GB is there. Okay, now let's see. So we'll just make a file system. Okay, now allocating group tables and creating journal block. Okay, so now this is created, the file system is created for this particular file system. And now we'll create a directory and we'll mount this particular EBS volume to that directory. So whatever the data that you are storing in this particular directory will be storing in this particular EBS volume. Mount it. Now if you just use df space minus h, you will be seeing that new cup. See, earlier the storage was how much? Only 8 GB. So that is in slash dev xvda1. And now there is one more storage which is created slash dev xvdf. So that is of 20 GB of storage. And if you see that particular storage, whatever that storage is there, which is connected with this particular file system. Okay, guys. So I'll also be providing these commands in the description. You can use to mount your EBS volume in Linux servers. So this is how you can mount your EBS volume in Linux server. Thanks for watching, guys. Please do subscribe to my channel for more informative videos.